Something that we're not talking enough about is something that I see on this app, which is these beautiful women that have amazing jobs, amazing lives. They are happy with themselves, and they just seem to not be able to find a partner that they can connect with. And it's something that I think has been a long time coming, and we probably need to address it very soon. This epidemic, in my opinion, of men who feel disgruntled for the wrong reasons. When I first encountered incel culture, when I was in college, I had a lot of compassion for these men. I thought to myself, some girl must have broken their poor hearts. And because society doesn't allow space for men to be able to vent their emotions, this might just be a way for them to do so. And at first it was a good forum for that. You were seeing, men kind of create these mentor-mentoree relationships, but as we've seen with these podcast bros, it's just gone off the deep end. And this rhetoric that they have that, women are only capable of loving the 10% of men and the rest of them get, left behind. And my initial perception of compassion for them has really changed over the years, and especially today when I saw a video of this girl breaking down this misunderstanding that we have about these incels being sort of poor guys that have their hearts broken, because she accurately explains that they're not mad that women are not choosing them. They're mad that women have a choice in general. They're mad that no longer are we in the days where we can just force a woman to just be with any guy, and all they had to worry about is like provide and not be anything else, not be emotionally present, not be a good father, not be a good husband. But now they need to step to the plate, and rather than working on that, and to be fair, I guess, they don't have great role models, but rather than working on that and focusing on that, they're like, oh, these girls just suck. And this was always confusing for me as a woman who grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood, so I was never like the top choice in those spaces. And so I very much so understood being a woman that wasn't quote unquote surrounded by men that always wanted to talk to her. And so I was just like toying and playing with guys. Like whenever I heard guys talk about that, I'm like, you're talking about like the hottest girls that are your type and your standard that you cannot attain, but then now you're bitter about. And so the irony was that rhetoric that they were saying about like women only going for the top 10%, like that's what I feel like men do. And so this breakdown from this girl today was so fantastic, but also worrying as a straight woman who eventually wants to have a partner that I feel like is my equal, not just, in terms of the caliber of their lifestyle, but also mentally and emotionally and psychologically. Feels like we are in really tricky times because we're coming to a reckoning about how boys are raised, and how much the gap between how boys and girls are raised has, increased over time. I come from a culture where it's so much more explicit. In Nigeria, women are explicitly taught to be good wives and mothers, and you see the dichotomy with how the boys are raised there to just do and be whatever, and they're just allowed to just do crazy stuff basically, and it enables and empowers these men to just have egos the size of mountains and sometimes be horrible to their wives. I feel like in that context it's much more explicit, but I see this in the US as well in just a little bit more of a subtle way. But what I see is women being empowered to just be like, well, you know what, like I'm not going to just pick whatever, like society is not forcing me to, so I would rather be single. And you're seeing a lot of single and genuinely happy women, because we don't have to marry some weirdo just to have a good life and to have a good quality of life anymore. And that is what is making men upset. But men, instead of being upset, like there are pathways to do this. Like as women, we had to develop emotional intelligence. We had to develop empathy and compassion for each other. We had to, like, we didn't, and this notion of women being just naturally good at this stuff. As a woman that had to, learn to be around other women, these are all learned things that you teach yourself. And I don't know, I just feel like in general, women, we just have a lot more pressure to be a certain way, and just men never really had to. And that is starting to show now that women have the autonomy that the women before us have fought so hard to give us. We are choosing to not settle. And I'm sad. I'm not going to settle either, but I just where are the quality men? Where are you guys? Where are you guys?
Men don't care about women's money. We don't care about women's competence. We don't care about women's height. We don't care about all the things that you care about in a man. Attraction isn't symmetrical, it's asymmetrical. You became the man that you want, so all these other guys that you're meeting, they don't qualify for you. But the only guy that did meet your standards, guess what? You didn't qualify for him. I'm looking at you and I'm saying, you know what? You could hit the gym.
Just to lose weight. I don't want a man who's only going to judge me based on my size.
We don't want a woman that's only gonna base us based off our height. I'm 6'4", he's 5'8". But you said that he's disqualified because he's 5'8".
I didn't judge his character.
But you judge his height and he doesn't qualify for you. The same way he doesn't qualify for you, with your figure, a lot of guys you won't qualify for.
Give me a second. He's just...
I was never speaking down on you. I was speaking to the queen in you. The man, he has a fool in him, but he also has a king in him. And that woman should always speak to the king in him. A woman has a fool in her, but she also has a queen in her. Me speaking to the fool in her would have been, you just as good as...
If a girl wants a guy who's older, it's a preference. If a guy wants a girl who's younger, it's creepy and immature. If a girl doesn't want to date a short guy, it's a preference. If a guy doesn't want to date a girl that's overweight, he's an asshole who's not focused on the things that matter.
Talk to the girls and supporters of the girls. I'm only posting on TikTok to talk to the girls. So if the creepy and very mean men in the comment section of my last video could get the fuck out, I would appreciate that. I don't need it in my life. I didn't even think I did anything. I met a guy on Hinge and I texted him like 10 times and I forgot to respond because I don't know. I had only texted him 10 times. Jokingly said that I ghosted him because I technically did by not responding. And now everyone's calling me a bop, which I didn't think that I was that old, but I had to Google what that meant. And some dude called me a racist for very silly reasons. And I'm wondering where the girls are at. If you followed me out of aggression towards that last video, I don't want those followers. Please unfollow me. I want to talk to the girls, please. Walking to go meet a guy I met on Hinge. So the man I'm meeting tonight, he liked my picture and I messaged him and I was like, you look familiar. I thought I met him in like a bar or something. He messages back. He goes, you ghosted me like months ago. And I was like, oh my god, that wasn't me. I told him it was like my evil twin Daniela and he thought that was funny. So comeback of the century, let's go. What do I say when I first meet him? Do I like apologize for ghosting him? Meeting strangers off the internet is so weird. I don't care how many times you've done it. Hey, nice to meet you. Sorry I ghosted you. Walking to go meet a guy I met on Hinge. Hey, nice to meet you. Sorry I ghosted you. Okay, the date just happened. It's bad dates like this that make me never want to go on another one. Honestly, it wasn't even that bad, but like, I know that like my boobs are out in this dress. But this man looked at my boobs every 2 seconds. His response was, oh yeah, I made a TikTok once, but I deleted it. It was so embarrassing. And I said, oh, you should like make more TikToks. They're really fun to make. And his response was, oh, maybe if I was 20, I've outgrown that. I was like, sir, that was so offensive. At the end of the night, we were waiting for his Uber and I could tell that he was trying to kiss me. So I kept like taking steps back and he just kept coming towards me. I don't understand how he didn't get the hint. Uber got there, I had to like duck my head and go for the side hug so that he wouldn't fucking kiss me. Like I was not giving any signs.
Define a good woman.
Me and Ken's, we would never ever do that to anyone, and you know that.
Okay, so let me ask you this. If all three of the guys that are in your Snapchat outside of your boyfriend would screw you and you know that, why are you talking to them? Why don't you give your boyfriend more respect?
Well, if you want to...
Because men have to create their value, where women are born with value.
Big facts.
So yeah, so you're born, you're given the golden ticket at 18. Even now, you guys are early 30s, mid 20s. Like, life is hard for men. They grow up being ignored most of their life.
Come on.
And so, whereas women, we're given attention. Like, what? When's the first time? Yeah, when's the first time you had a guy hit on you? 13, 14, 15.
Something.
Yeah. And so we don't even realize how hard the world is for men and how easy it is for us, where we can like spout nonsense and nobody says anything.
I don't think it's smart.
However, I think that if you're
However, here we go. Anything after however is bullshit.
a hard worker and you are at your office all the time and the only people you're around, the only people you meet are your coworkers. I
Then
think
get a
sometimes-
life.
Yeah,
Get out
I
of
know,
your
but this
workplace.
is coming from the guy who hasn't dated in your 20s.
He said, then get a life. Get a life, Susan. Get a life, Becky. And he's right. If all you have in life is work, you're pathetic, dude. I mean, most men, you have video games, you have Madden, you have, playing football with your friends, poker games, card games. A lot of men really don't have this problem. There's a lot of women who tend to have this problem. Even my friends that are male, that are introverts. I'm talking the most introverted people still have a game night where they play like Dungeons and Dragons or they're online playing Madden. So men really don't have this problem.
20s or in your 30s.
I just think it's too dangerous.
We have below average women come on the podcast saying, I'm a 10. I'm on par with the most beautiful women in the world. I'm on par with lingerie models, runway models, magazine models, the most beautiful women in the world.
We all started realizing, why are women being so difficult?
Thank you, feminism.
I was told to be a nice guy. I was told to be a gentleman. I did everything right. Why did she still leave me? Next thing you know, guys start passing notes, sharing information from different walks of life, different socioeconomic levels, different languages, different religions. And we all started to figure out, whoa, everything I was told was a lie. Y'all are watching me right now because everything you were told was a lie. So we've come to what? Men are deductive problem solvers. Bitches are acting crazy. How do I figure this out? You come over, you find us. Why? Because you're trying to figure out shit. Is there a red pill for women? No!
Girls know what they're doing. We are professional gold diggers because it is in our biology to look for resources in men. So, whether you're dating someone who is 10 years younger or 10 years older, the common denominator is and always will be the added stress that it adds to your life when you choose girls more than you choose yourself.
Most women that say they want a good man, if you bring her one right now, she probably gonna fuck it up. They want a man. Them saying they don't or that they're single by choice is because they've been unsuccessful in finding one.
Bro, man, move, nigga. Move. Nigga behind.
Go back and look at this whole video, and I know she was defending against a crazy man, but you notice how they looking like men now? Not just acting like, but looking like. Her voice even changed kind of deep like a man too.
Because what happens if the one person that's in your life right now messages you, even if they went cold for 4 weeks? What happens? They message you a little message. Hey, thinking of you. This becomes significant, doesn't it? You attach a significance to this that perhaps we shouldn't, but we do because it's the headline of a newspaper that doesn't have any other news right now. So this story that isn't that interesting becomes front page. You know who texted me today? Is this dangerous, yes or no? Yes. Because now it's the only story, so you dissect this story to death. You chop it up every way it could be chopped up. You analyze the text, you overthink it. You have butterflies in your stomach about it. You're kind of excited. You don't want to be excited because fuck him, right?
A woman, you might ask her, like, well, what age guy would you date? And she'll say out of her mouth, oh, I'm 19. I want to date a guy who's like 19 to 22. And then she goes out in the world, meets me, and then she's like, well, I like him. And then that's like kind of like the end of the whole thing. That's how women are actually operating in real life. And we do have clinical immaturity. If a woman dates a guy who's younger than her, this is a major red flag. Females who date down in age are usually very messed up in here because they're looking to have a target that's easy to manipulate, to control, and to dominate.
And that wraps up today's episode of Manosphere Daily. If you enjoyed the content, give it a like. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified as soon as a new video is out. Share your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.